He was running away. His trip was going to take him 500 miles. That's 900 kilometers for those of you who were born late. So he was going on this journey, 500 miles. And night came. And he got a stone to be a pillow, lay down. And what Jacob did not know was that the presence of God was with him. The presence of God was with him. That's the presence of God. Jacob did not know that nothing.
Okay, I'm coming just now.
1 second, I get a picture.
Like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. His days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto children's children. The Lord hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Bless ye the Lord, all ye his hosts, ye ministers of his that do his pleasure.
word. Let us now join in a time of prayer. Okay? Oh God, we know that with people like that, we have places to go. And He has left His mark. He has touched so many lives and so many souls. And we pray, O Holy One, that You will continue to receive Him unto Yourself. And that, O Father, we know that He is in Your care and keeping, because You have promised in My Father's house how many mansions, if it were not so, I would have told you that I go to prepare a place for you, so that where I am, you may be also. Lord, we pray that you will bless the household members, grant them strength, give them courage, and them, O Lord, during this time of bereavement, grant them patience, and continue to love. We ask, O Father, that you bless all of us here, rather this evening, because You will continue to create in us a clean heart, and You will renew a right spirit within us, because this is what we pray for, as we come to You through the blessed name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who taught us that beautiful family prayer. Would you join with me now? Father, who art in heaven.
Take my hand, lead me on, take my stand, I'm tired, I'm weak, I am worn. Through the storms, through the night, lead me
Some of us searching for it to hear, O Lord, your promise. Your desire to dwell with your people. And thank you, O God, for this wonderful salvation plan that you have enacted, made possible through Christ. You remembered all of us, O Lord. So, Father, we present to you our friend, our dear brother who now rests from his privilege. Thank you for him. Thank you for remembering him. Thank you for looking upon him in life, and thank you for embracing him even in death. Thank you, O Lord, that your eyes are not like ours. It's not limited, but indeed not even death could separate your love from your Son. Father, tomorrow we have our funeral service, where we bring to closure these few nights, these few days that are in need of comfort, these days that are calling, O Lord, for your presence. So, Father, we give you thanks for each speaker during these nights. Those who prayed, those who go through our remembrance, that indeed you are the God whom we continuously call upon.
Yeah, and we see her talking, and I say, I bought her.
Exactly.
I share, you want me share? And that's how we start to the yeah, and I'm like, same that you have during the time? Yeah, the same that's the house. Three by one side or three by one side? Why do we reserve side? That's the crayon side, right? And the tape there. Tape in
You said anything about vacation? I'm not sure.
Oh, you mean brochure? Yeah, put the phone.
Come on this side, please.
Come on this side now. The jack horse in love this time. Last time every time $100 again, I hold
Sorry, directly back to the friend.
Yeah.
Just go down here. Just to leave and because it was correct. Yeah, come on.
Pardon? What do you want me to do with it? I don't know, he's going to shut something.
What's Sunday again? Come on, see us. I don't let you on day. You're right. Oh, protected niya. And you always bless us sa magkaroon na tuwidog niya. Thank you for that. Thank you for all that you've given unto us, Daddy. Thank you. When you're home with it outside, and everybody there. Daddy smiling. Daddy smiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daddy.
Is that peace? When he looks around,
Was it up probably? But no.
As the Father is kind to his children, so the Lord is kind to those who honor him. He knows what we are made of. He remembers that we are dust. As for us, our life is like grass. We grow and flourish like a wild flower. Then the wind blows on it and it is gone. No one sees it again. But for those who honor the Lord, his love lasts forever, and his goodness endures for all generations. This is the will of the Lord.
Friends, our second reading is taken from 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 to 11. It's entitled A Living Hope. Let us give thanks to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Because of his great mercy, he gave us new life by raising Jesus Christ from death. This fills us with a living hope, and so we look forward to possessing the rich blessings that God keeps for his people. He keeps them for you in heaven, where they cannot decay or spoil or fade away. They are for you who through faith are kept safe by God's power for the salvation which is ready to be revealed at the end of time. Be glad about this, even though it may now be necessary for you to be sad for a while, because of the many kinds of trials you suffer. Their purpose is to prove that your faith is genuine. Even gold, which can be destroyed, is tested by fire. And so your faith, which is more precious than gold, must also be tested, so that it may endure. Then you will receive praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed. You love him, although you have not seen him, and you believe in him, although you do not now see him. So you rejoice with a great and glorious joy which words cannot express, because you are receiving the salvation of your souls, which is the purpose of your faith in him. It was concerning this salvation that the prophets made careful search and investigation, and they prophesied about this gift which God would give you. They tried to find out when the time would be and how it would come. This was the time to which Christ's Spirit in them was pointing, in predicting the sufferings that Christ would have to endure and the glory that would follow. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. His word.
Hello. Good morning. I'm so very happy to see all of you. I can feel the love in your hearts being shared today, and the family is feeling that love, and we are feeling very supported, and we thank you so much. Family and friends, it's a wonderful pleasure to reflect on the life of Lloyd T. Persaud, T as in Thomas. It is indeed a celebration which brings a lot of warmth into our hearts and rekindles fond memories of times past. Let me give you a little bit of history of Mr. Lloyd T. Persaud. Lloyd Thomas Persaud was born to Chandy and Gladys Persaud on May 22nd, 1934. He was the second child, but the first son. Lloyd had three sisters, Beatrice, Jean, and Ina, and four brothers, Malcolm, the late Howard, Henry, and Anthony. As a child, Lloyd had a deep love for the outdoors and nature. According to Dad's brother, Uncle Malcolm, Lloyd grew up raising cows and goats. His brother Malcolm recalled the fun times they had as bathing ponds of water, catching wabing, cascadoo, costarab, and sardines. Lloyd attended Chandanago Presbyterian Primary School and later moved on to Naparima Boys College, which he did really well. Dad entered the teaching service on October 4th, 1954. At the age of 20. His first appointment was at Pinal Rock Presbyterian Primary School, where he stayed at his aunt for a while, and then he later rented a room. In 1960, Dad entered Naparima Teachers Training College, and after graduating from the Teachers College, he was stationed at Balmain Presbyterian Primary School for 11 years. During that period, Chandy, Lloyd's dad, died on April 3rd, 1963. Lloyd was 29 years old. He now had to shoulder the responsibility of not only being the big brother, but he stood up as the father figure to his younger siblings. On December 28th of that same year, Lloyd was introduced to and eventually got married to the youthful and beautiful Sheila Ravenat from St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna. This union led to the birth of what we would like to call the Magnificent Seven. 4 boys, Lyndon, Lindbergh, myself, Derek, and Ryan, and 3 girls, Heather, the oldest, Stacy, and Nara. In 1973, Dad got a transfer and joined the teaching staff at Chandanago Presbyterian School, his alma mater. That was on the 12th of September 1988. Dad was promoted to Vice Principal 1 of Chandanago Presbyterian School at that time. Later on, he became the principal of Union Presbyterian Primary School on the 30th of January 1989. I would like to delve into some of the passions my dad had. The one that stood out and he had a profound love for was teaching, as you would expect. He had been a regular and punctual and committed person to his calling. Rarely did he stay away from his classes. Mr. Persaud always went the extra mile to ensure that each child received the best in primary education and that everyone was given an equal opportunity. I must mention that even though he taught all of his children during the successive years in the combination classes, his kids were never given any special treatment. My brothers could attest to that. As a disciplinarian, he did believe that if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And in that way, he supported that fact that you must always maintain discipline. To all who knew him, he was indeed an exemplary teacher. His expertise was in teaching standard 4 and 5 classes. It should be noted that he had a sharp ear for English grammatical errors. He strived to get the best out of his students, and in so doing attempted to transform mediocrity into exceptionalism. This was supported by the fact that a large number of his students was able to be successful in their secondary education. Teacher Lloyd was not afraid of competitions, and he willingly and confidently allowed his students to participate in various academic quizzes and tests that had positive outcomes. After 35 years of serving the nation's children, I would like to quote a few lines from my dad's response to a function that was held in his honor, and I quote, "I have always tried to do my best, no matter what circumstances were. I have retired, and I have no regrets. When I reflect on my days in active service, I remember the children whom I had the privilege of teaching, and cannot help but think that I was successful when I behold the achievements in different fields. I will always hope and pray for those who have not done so well, that they would find their places under the sun eventually." End of quote. The other passion my dad had was gardening. He loved gardening. Sowing seeds, taking care of the nursery plants, and patiently awaiting for the day of its fruition is, metaphorically speaking, a symbolic representation of his life. At daybreak, he would be filling buckets of water and walk to his garden that was at least 100 meters away from the house. Dad loved the physical labor and would rather do this than use a garden hose. He cherished watching the development of each stage of the plants. This was both reflective and a unifying theme in his approach to teaching and parenting. He loved bringing the fruits and vegetables of his garden to the kitchen table. On any given day, Dad would have any of these items: tomatoes, corn, peas, sorrel, mangoes, lettuce, peppers, cassava, and plantain. Everyone in the family remembers and cherishes the time we went to collect cashew nuts. These were times when we competed to collect the most. Who had the most nuts win the most cashew. More cashew when they roasted. Dad was an expert at being resourceful. I always remember him fabricating the cashew nut roasting pan and cutting tree branches for out in the fire. Cashew busting was fun and delicious, fresh off the pan. You can't have it better than that. Right at this moment, I would like to focus on his other passion, his faith and loving Christ. Lloyd was an active participant in the Presbyterian Church. He was an elder of the Nestor Presbyterian Church. His faith was strong. Elder Lloyd was adherent to the Word of God and never backed down when relating life circumstances to the will of God. As a Sunday school teacher, many will remember the use of the large colored drawings for the pages of children's Bible. The Sunday school kids eagerly look forward to the Christmas treats, which were comprised of treat bags, individual gifts, and homemade chilled coconut ice cream. As a result of his many years of dedication and contribution to the church community, he was recognized by Nestor in 2014. At this point, I will turn now to more of the commitment and dedication to family life. Dad always put family first. Surviving on a mere teacher salary, he was still able to provide for his family with the support and sacrifice of mom. family's foundation was built on strong Christian values. His wealth, as he mentioned to us many times, was his wife, his kids, and grandkids. Dad loved singing. He had a very wonderful and melodious voice. I remember when he would have us all 7 of us kneeling at the side of the bed and singing the hymnal. And I quote, "Now the day is over, night is drawing nigh, shadows of the evening steal across the sky." End of quote. Many who knew him have said to us, Dad lived a life of humility and was always concerned for others. Humility was never a weakness of his character, but rather a foundation of honesty, steadfastness, and commitment. That was a peacemaker. His gentle manner and friendly face made him approachable to many. He put great trust in others and believed that there was inherent good in everyone. Dad cherished and reveled in the successes of his children and grandchildren, some of whom had obtained national scholarships. Lloyd's brothers and sisters held him in high esteem. He was affectionately called Punit by relatives and Teacher Lloyd by the villagers. If you need an explanation of the word Punit, I would actually talk to my uncle Mark. He would know why he called him that. On that fateful day of October 13, 2016, Dad passed away peacefully, and so ends the final chapter of the book of life of Lloyd Persaud. I thank you for sharing your time with us today and celebrating the life of Mr. Lloyd T. Persaud. Daddy, you're now gone, but the legacy you have left with us will always be etched into our hearts forever. Rest in peace.
This poem is a tribute to our loving grandfather, Papa. Goodbye comes too soon, Papa, but it seems you've written your last chapter. Still, many memories of you remain, and like a cushion, they help ease the pain. Your great, strong arms held us strongly, as well as your words of comfort when we were hurt. Weeping may come in the night, but joy comes in the morning. Pulled us through trials and long nights studying. You loved to sing, especially at night, like a soothing lullaby to our delight. You were father, grandfather, teacher, and more. You helped spread our wings so we could soar. There were many tales you liked to tell, and always prayed to wish us well. We will remember the values you instilled, to be there for each other in times of peril. Keep God first in all you do, you always mentioned as we grew.
You were always proud as we excelled for the many accomplishments that we held. The smile on your face, always so bright, assured us everything was all right. Your voice with us still remains, though we long to hear you call our names. Looking back at the life you led, a man of great stature, always 2 steps ahead. We had fun nights jumping on your bed, then waiting until you were asleep to pull the glasses off your head. As we woke, breakfast was already prepared, along with your world's famous cocoa tea on the table spread. The love for your garden can never be replaced, as we had many adventures in that little trace. Now, no more earthly burdens you bear, for we know you're with ground of death. It is with great joy that we say, thank you for making us who we are today.
Words of life, O Lord, we are reminded what Scripture means to us. Beautiful words, wonderful words. Words that speak of something everlasting and not temporary. And so, Lord, we lean heavily upon you this morning and always. Community in mourning, family weeping. But set our hearts, O Lord, upon that which is sure and that which is firm, the one foundation, Jesus Christ. In him, O Lord, we have life. In him, O Lord, we have our May the words of my mouth and the meditation of all of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, strength and redeemer. Amen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being here today to provide the support for this family, our family, as we celebrate the life and the passing of my father-in-law, Mr. Lloyd Persaud, who we affectionately call Papa Lloyd. Friends, relatives, and well-wishers, my father-in-law is gone. Yes, he's gone. We all knew that this day would come, yet the reality of it hurts so very much. 16 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet my wife, Stacy, and then the privilege to be introduced to our family. I remember how anxious I was when she told me that before we can court, I had to go meet her parents. I was scared. I was anxious. I was scared of being rejected. I was scared of passing that initial litmus test. I remember very vividly when I walked into their home, which is just across the street, and walked into the gallery where they always sit, and they received me with open arms for the very first time. That feeling of warmth, that respect, that love that they showed me never changed until this day. Throughout my entire life, it always grew. That genuine emotion was always there. My father-in-law was a wonderful man, and I'm sure you guys would understand that. 14 years ago, Papa Lloyd and Marshila entrusted in me one of the apples of their eyes, my wife's Stacy, right here at this church where he's standing now. And one of the best stories he could have given me was not only his daughter, but his blessings. And that blessings for a successful marriage, which so far was once very strong. I've had so many fond memories of my father-in-law, but one that stood out the most was the joy we all shared on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, our father would bring us here to this church, not bring us, but his tradition, which we all would look forward to, which became a routine and part of our Christmas Day, was to come here to praise and worship God, to give thanks, and to meet all our friends, families, and neighbors. Then we would head back to his house, where we'd have a few with his brother Henrik. I don't know what Henrik is at. And then meet Auntie Jean, welcome visitors. He would then play with his grandkids, sing songs, shower them with gifts. We would all break bread together, eat, say prayers, worship together, and he would spoil us like crazy. But one of the things that I always saw him do was to always have that joy of being with his children, all of his children. This is something that I will sorely miss. Papa Lloyd was a man of integrity. He was a man of passion, a man of values, a man of faith. He was a spiritual man. He was a family man. He was loved by many, and he was adored by all those who knew him. He was respected by all. Papa Lloyd, ladies and gentlemen, respect is something that you cannot buy. It is something that is earned through one's character, words, and deeds. Papa Lloyd commanded respect by giving respect. Ladies and gentlemen, Papa Lloyd was a true patriarch, a true head of the household, a true head of his family. His pride and joy was always in nurturing and caring for his family. Not only his brothers and sisters, as I understand from Derek, but for all his children and grandchildren. The morals, virtues, and values he and Marshila instilled in their children and grandchildren will continue to live on, for it is truly reflected in the character of each of his children and grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, my father-in-law was a man amongst men and a gem of gems. I'm so fortunate to have had the pleasure to have known this great guy and to learn from his vast wisdom. I, like you, will forever cherish those precious, priceless memories which he has etched on our journey through time, which we all call life. There are those who come into our life and pass through without even leaving a mark or an impression. That is completely opposite of the man he was. My father-in-law has genuinely touched me. He has had a profound impact on my life in so many ways, and he has left a void which can never be filled. My hope and prayer is that sometime, somewhere, someplace, someday, that we will meet again. But until that day, I commit him to the Almighty. May God continue to bless and keep him safe, now, always, and forever. With all my love, Roger. Lajan is one of his past students who lives in Virginia. And once he got the message, he actually made it his business to bring him and his wife here. And we would like to extend that greeting to him and to give him this chance to speak on his experiences with Papa Lloyd, and also on behalf of the students that he knew who have Papa Lloyd has touched their lives.
Good morning. I'm going to share a letter from my son. His name is David. And before I came here, he actually wrote this note and says, please share the family of Mr. Lloyd. He said, I pray that God's graces of comfort and peace be on you. Now and in the future, I want you to know the influence and inspiration Mr. Lloyd carried in my life. My dad always told me that he wanted to be a teacher because of Mr. Lloyd. And that has impacted so many people. Now, I too am going to be a teacher because of my dad. So it feels like it goes back to you, sir. I thank God for bringing Mr. Lloyd in my dad's life. God bless you all. My name is Lauchan, and I am the teacher. I am a teacher because of Sir right there. I noticed that you had all the different names for him. But ever since standard 5, I would stand outside your gate, and I would call, Sir, Sir. And if you close the gate, you have all those burglar proof over there, but he always sat there. And I would see him, he would open up the gate, he would come over here and open the gate. And from standard 5 until went to college, even after graduating, having my own family, we would come by your house, and sometimes we would sit for hours and talk. And you would tell me all the stories that you just mentioned, Derek. See, I remember in standard 5 also because Heather was in my class too. And he would take us under the cashew tree and he would sing. Yeah, he loved to sing, yes. Bayan Bonnie Banks, Bayan Bonnie Brain, some Scottish song he taught us. I still don't understand the meaning of that song. I have no idea. In a land of soca and chutney and calypso and all the other stuff he has, he's singing a Scottish song. That was so old, but he just loved to sing. I don't remember all the math and the language, and he loved teaching. But more than anything else, he loved his students, all of them. He just wanted to see everyone be successful. And as you said that, some of you went on to be scholars. Some of us had to work a little harder to get there. But eventually we did. We did. Your dad taught us passion and compassion. He taught us love and he taught us logic. I remember the time when we stood out in the sun, 90 degrees, and they would make us go up, down, and you had to check nails, and by the time they were finished doing all of the routines, I would probably fall feet on the ground because I was a skinny kid, probably bare feet. One of those that grew up in the sugar cane area across the Chandler Board. And I remember the time painting, and he picked me up. And he brought me back in the shade of the classroom. He left you guys outside in the sun. But he took his book or whatever it is and he's scanning me. And I can see him right now, and as I open my eyes when I woke up, I can see him right there. And he says, "You alright, son?" And I heard that, and those words resonate. I keep on hearing it. "You alright, son?" That's the compassion your dad had. And he'd always say, by the way, he never spanked me. Okay, so he really cared a lot about all his students. He cared about me a whole lot. And I teach today, and sometimes the same passion and the love and whatever he teaches I have. I have a picture of him and your mom on my desk. And oftentimes my students will say, "Is that your mom and dad on your table?" And I want to lie. And sometimes I want to lie and say yes. I said, that's the reason I teach. He's the one who sowed that seed in here. I love your dad. He's a good man. And on behalf of all the students he has taught and whose lives he's touched, I say thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
the week. 2 o'clock the other week. They're going according to time.
peace we often forfeit, what needless pain we bear, all because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged.
Prayer, read the scripture, So we bow in prayer. Almighty God, we think of and we remember your beloved Son, our dearly beloved Lloyd Persaud. As we gather to commit his ashes to the sea, we pray that you would bless us and give us strength. Amen. The Bible tells us, remember your Creator in the days of the youth, in the days of your youth, before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars grow dark. Remember your God before you go to your eternal home and the mourners go about the streets. Remember your God before the dust returns to the ground it came from and the spirit returns to God who gave it. And my dad will say, he say the poem and then my dad will.
Their board where they had very different, they always disagree in a sense, right? So my Martin was dealing with it, and he wanted to write a poem for me to help come to terms with some closure. So I read on this one. There was a man named Lloyd Persaud. I didn't know much of him, but he was loved by my dad. He was very smart and a brilliant teacher. He was active in the church and a great preacher. He was strict and hard, but filled with love, his wild heart. He was strong, tough, and full of pride. Yet he was shy and sometimes didn't see people eye to eye. I wish he was braver to show his love. I wish he could have stayed alive longer. I wish I could say goodbye. I wish he told me he was proud. We all love him a lot. We will miss him forever. He's in a better place, and he's smiling at us from heaven. Goodbye, Grandpa Lloyd. We love you.
Tell him that we
Got no money.
Our God is good. God be your comfort, your hope and support. God be your life, your and the blessing of God, the giver of life.
break it on the rock. Put it on the ground. Okay, put it on the edge of the yeah, 20 whole pot everything. Oh, they will go with the weeds. Ashes will go with the weeds. It will wash out, remember. It will wash out. Action. Look at the action. Big over. And wash out the ground. Let it put away. Go back and forth, back and forth. All done. Oh, it's okay, we can't move on so late, you know. Back and forth. Oh, that boat is quite on the ocean. It's far away. Very far away. Efficient. What way you go open? Follow that. Come on, you walk on that side. Walk on. Take on.
Wash it.
Yeah, you wash it. Wash out the way. Now we go on the bridge. Can come the rest of the action. Oh, Papa isn't having the children. That's just not wrong.
Yes, I can.
5 years, we have a 5 colors. Go on. Yeah, let's go. What you want to
Please follow up and we are back. Maybe we're starting keep shut down. Please, wait for it.
I'll galvanize what you put that on the first photo. So I need to wash my hands. My hands are really washing together. So yeah, it's being white. I didn't see it be white after.
Well, that's Papa Lloyd only. Yes. Let him be with Mommy always.
Amen.
I want to come here right now. Put the wash on. Yeah, I have to come back here.
I thought only live in there.
No, if I had a chair on there, I'm washing. Come here.
I feel all I wish is I will come here. Why would I show me what you see when we go down the island?